So what I've got now is the first of the two radiators glued on, and also you can see I foiled the back. Got the little thrusters on without the nozzles themselves, and it's got tape holding down that radiator surface, which is just a thin sheet of styrene glued on, and I've left part of it unpainted. It's actually primed. Hopefully the glue will stick a little better, and this will be the bottom. And you can see I put a little reinforcement in the closed-in docking tunnel to get it a little stiffer, and then we'll wrap our blanket around there once we glue the capsules on. And in the background here, the capsules are glued on to the adapters, so they're going to be attached very shortly. There we go. Well, I just glued on the first Gemini, and it's a little funky. We've got contact along here. Can you see that? Yeah. And along this edge, it's not a perfect fit, even though I did tons of dry fitting. And on this bottom surface, so I got 3 lines where it should be gluing, and it's funky because it doesn't line up exactly like I thought it was going to line up. But it's in there. I got glue in here too, and so we're just going to let this set up, and then we'll cover that with blanket material. But I want to get it solidly attached, and what I'll probably do is let the plastic cement set up, and then go back, put a few reinforcing strips of scrap styrene just to get it solidly attached, and then maybe hit some CA to fill it in a little bit. But that's what the joint looks like at this point. And then we'll go and do the other side, and hope that fits as well. It's not really squared up, but it's really close enough. It's one of these models that I'm just going for overall look, as opposed to, ooh, there's an imperfect seam or something a little off, with some flaws, marred up paint. You can see I got the radiators on. That was fun because the glue, just using the thin Tamiya, worked mostly okay, but some parts didn't work so well, and got a little glue on the paint, but we're okay. So anyway, that's where we are right now. As you can see now, I've got both Geminis glued on and attached, and again the joints are along these pieces of styrene. And on the one where the hatch is remaining open, I've now glued the hatch in the open position, played around with the astronaut and glued him in. I was hoping to have him positioned a little differently, but I had to reposition his arms and legs and head, and I was kind of guessing what would fit, because you don't really have everything securely joined to test it out. And didn't come exactly as planned, but it's not too bad. So you can see him at least making a move from the spacecraft into the lab. I've got this piece of wire here, which is going to be part of the tent frame. So I'll have this surface and this rounded surface open. And I've got an old plastic bag here I'm going to use for the clear part. So what I'll probably do is put the clear on the whole thing, and then hide some of the joints with some of the white plastic material that I found here. So now once I get this hoop, let's call it, secure, it's just set with super glue, I can start putting the tent on. I can, or put the tent on this half. I don't know how well we can see that in here. You can see there's a panel here, that's what's holding it on, and one in the front and one in the back. You can't see because it's underside, and right now the glue is setting up, so I'm not going to lift it up. But that's how they're secured at this particular time. So the next step will be putting the tent on. So everything is pretty much put together, including all the blanket things, except for the last piece that'll go in the front here. Then I still have to put, trim edges with wire. So there's a piece that's going to fit right on here. I use these paper templates to shape that. Then I cut it out of the blanket material. and I coat it with the foil adhesive, let it set up, and I've got it set up here, if I can get it, because it tends to glue itself down occasionally. So I got it on this piece of paper here. So I will try to remove it. Here we go. Okay. And carefully line it up to cover these folded over areas, and also maybe get it underneath the base down there. And it takes a bit of finessing. There we go. I get it to stick because I want to cover this corner as much as possible, because there's nothing going to cover that. Nothing's going to hide that. And get it to show the rim, but also be as flush as we can to the lab. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Probably good enough. If I need to, I can maybe trim it with a knife or scissors. But like right there, not ideal, but pretty close. So again, I'll take some wire and go along the lab edges. But as you can see, we've got a transparent view into the docking tunnel, and can see just what's going on in there while still simulating what the tunnel might look like. So that's very close to the final version. Probably trim this a little bit. So not too bad.